Don't mind all this that's going on back here. I guess I should have probably moved it, but whatever. I don't have a specific place for me to record. My office, you should see it like it's just a place that has boxes and everything else that's going on back there. I can't film there, so I am here and I'm filming in the basement in our kitchen. I am following what I've been told. I am supposed to be documenting this journey of mine. If you've been following me and keeping up with what I've been talking about on my Wednesday morning sessions, Hour of Power, then you will know that I proclaimed that this was going to be my $1 million year, right? 2022 was going to be my $1 million year. I had seen it, felt it, got confirmation, and I was just like, yeah, we are going to kill it this year. It's just going to happen. Things are going to happen and money is going to be made, right? And here we are. How many millions have I made? None. In fact, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm in real estate and I pay myself bi-weekly, and my bi-weekly money ran out last month. So this was the first month that we had to pay without my check. And if you don't know, my husband quit his job last July. So he's been working on building his business. And any of you guys who are entrepreneurs know that the majority of times when you are building a business, you're not really making too much. That's where we are. This month was the first month that I had to go into our savings. And that was something that I did not want to do. So I specifically had asked for $4,000, right? That was going to be enough to cover this whole month's expenses, everything. So I asked for it. And I'm like, look, last time, Lord, you told me to ask. That was the thing. I have not because I asked not. Right? So I am asking you. I'm shooting my shot. I am asking and I'm believing that you're going to make it happen. So I wanted this to happen before the 15th, which was when we had to pay our mortgage. Here we are on the 13th and honey, nothing came through. So I'm like, okay, it's the 13th, not the 15th. It can still happen. And then the 14th happened and I'm like, okay, what's up? What's going on? What I had gotten was the intention behind my ask was because I was in fear. I was afraid of dipping into our savings because if I dip into my savings, then, what happens? Like, if I keep doing that, then we're not going to have a savings anymore. And if we don't have a savings anymore, then we don't have any money. And then we possibly won't be able to pay for our house. And then we won't even be able to pay for our food. And then we won't be able to pay for our car, and then it keeps going. What it came down to was I was operating out of fear, which I don't want to do. And that's why I highlighted really understanding the intention behind your ask. So when we're asking God for something, we've got to know where that is coming from. Is it rooted in fear or is it rooted in abundance and belief and faith? Mine was totally wrapped up in fear. And so God was like, I ain't even hearing that, honey, because no, we're not about to be on this footing of where this is where you're operating. What I've seen throughout this journey of mine is that when you are asking something big and you have big goals that you are looking to achieve and you're believing God for something, one of the things that I want you to know is to be mindful of the fact that it may not always unfold the way that you thought it would unfold. So going into my $1 million year, I thought that automatically money was just going to be flowing for me this year. And it was just like, man, in an absolute abundance. And I was just rolling in on closings and I'm doing this and, I'm speaking places and I'm doing all this stuff and money's just coming from all different places like that. That was what I envisioned. Instead, it's been something totally different. Throughout this time, since literally January 1st to now, I have been broken. I have been molded. I have been shaped. I have been crushed. Literally, I have fallen apart and I am being put back together. No money has come in. And what I am seeing is that I needed this. Even though what I asked for and what I imagined was something totally different, I needed to become that person to understand that the money that is given to me is one, not mine. It's being leased, not owned. And that's actually one of the lessons that I learned 1 week ago. So this is the story. I done said this, right? Nothing has come in. Last month was the last month that I was able to pay myself. So I just want to put this in perspective so you guys caught what I said. This month, there was nothing. So this month, just a week ago, I met someone and we struck up a conversation. I loved her vibe, her energy, the things that she was saying. And one of the things that she had told me was that she was kind of in an in-between space. She's following God's guidance, but right now things are kind of in the unknown. So she's not really sure of where she's supposed to be going for the long term. So now she's caught up in the short term of just literally she's going where she's supposed to be going with God's guidance. The house that she was renting, the time was up. She needed to move, but didn't have the funds to be able to move to wherever she's supposed to be going. So she's like, okay, God, my time is ending here in a few days, and I'm not sure of what we're supposed to be doing or how we're supposed to be doing this. I need help. Like, the money in the bank account is not matching up for another place for me to rent. And so she had told me that that was in conversation, and that was that. We got off the phone. A day or two after our conversation, I ended up just waking up and she was on my mind. So I was like, okay, I prayed and I'm like, Lord, what would you have me to do? How can I help her? How can I assist her? What is it that you want me to give to her? And the first number that came to me was $2,000. So I was like, well, I don't think I heard that right. You might have gotten that wrong. So I asked for a sign. I asked for a butterfly, right? That's a thing that God and I have. I ask for a sign sometimes. And so I needed one on this. I'm like, okay, God, if it's you, and you are telling me to give $2,000, then give me a butterfly and I will do it, right? I can see it, I can hear it not matter. I just need butterfly and I will do it. And so later on that night, I ended up seeing a butterfly, and I still was like, oh, yeah, no, I don't know about that butterfly. I think I need something else. So I ended up saying, okay, I'm going to ask her how much she needs. And if it matches what the number that you gave me, then I'll know for sure. I ended up asking her the next day, how much would you need to be able to acquire another place, for the next month? What would you need? And so she's like, $2,500. And I'm like, what? That's not 2,000. So as quick as she sent that, she turned around and said, well, but that's in Canadian dollars. In US dollars, it's closer to 2,000. And I was like, it matched exactly what I had been given. And so immediately at that point, I was like, I got to get this money up off of me. This isn't my money. I am holding her money captive. I've got to give it to her. So I asked her for everything. Do you have a PayPal account? Do you have Cash App? Do you have a bird that can come pick it up? I don't care what it is. I got to get this money out of my bank account into your bank account, because what I'm doing is I am stopping blessings from flowing. I'm being a holdup in this whole thing. I don't know your conversations with God. I don't know what you've asked for, but what I'm doing is I'm holding on to something that is not mine. Immediately, when she sent it to me, I sent it to her and I was like, it's yours. I don't even care. I don't care that we don't have that. I don't care. I am giving this to you because I was told and I'm being obedient, and I am tripping. Like, I was tripping in the first place. I should have let it go as soon as I got the word, but I held on to it. But now it's got to go. We had the conversation and we talked, and it was just crazy how things just, like what she had asked for and what I was given and how God works is just amazing. But further than that, what I had come to realize is that the money that I had in my bank account wasn't mine anyway. Even if I wasn't told to give her $2,000 and I'm saying, well, that's not mine, that's yours because I was told to give it to you. Before I was even told to give it to her, it was not mine. What we are here to do is to be managers over what we are given. Our kids, they're not yours. They're not ours. Our house is not ours. Our spouse, they're not ours. What we are to do is to care for them, to love them, to guide them, to give them what they need. We're supposed to be taking good care of what we have and what we've been given. But at any moment, God can call it back. So he can say, look, give $2,000 to Susie over here. And what it should be is that we aren't even contemplating, oh my gosh, what if this happens? Oh my gosh, but you know I need this, right? Oh my gosh, I don't think I have the $2,000 that I can give because I've got to pay my mortgage. Those things shouldn't even be coming up. And honestly, this is what my journey is all about. I know that I talked about this being my $1 million year, but what I am seeing is that it is becoming that $1 million person. And that $1 million person is wrapped up in knowing that this isn't mine. None of this is mine, even down to my body. It's not mine. It's not something that defines me. It's not something that I find my value in. I don't find my value in my house, in my money, in my spouse, in my kids. None of those things define who I am. My soul, my spirit defines who I am. Everything else is it's God. It's God. So at the drop of a dime, and that's where I aim to be. When I say I want to be like Jesus, this is what I mean. How he just acted. He did, and he expected, he believed, and he moved in faith. His very essence was faith. When I think about being in the world but not of the world, he is the epitome of it. Like, he is the definition of that. And that's what I want to be. I want it to be where it doesn't matter how much money I amass. It doesn't matter what I have or what I don't have. It doesn't matter if I've got $2,000 to my name. If God says, give that $2,000 that you have in your bank account to so-and-so, I'm giving it. And I am not worried about what is to come. Me simply being a manager and a good steward, that's what they talk about in the Bible, being a good steward over what you've been given. A steward isn't somebody who owns something. That is not what it is. We are not owners. That is my lesson from what I've gleaned since I started this journey of, this is what I'm going to be calling it, my journey to $1 million, right? And that was the hashtag that I was given. It was everything. So, journey to $1 million. No, this journey is not the way that I thought it was going to be, but I am learning to enjoy the process. Not only enjoy the process, but trust the process. Have faith in where I am being guided and where I'm being told to go and what I am being told to do, and acting in that. So I am leaning more, and this is what I'm learning to do and trying to do more of, leaning into my intuition, into the Holy Spirit, into God's guidance, really leaning within, gleaning from that stillness, really taking time to be one with myself and one with God, and understanding his voice versus my voice, and my voice and his voice versus the enemy's voice. Learning how to distinguish those things and gaining an understanding and wisdom and discernment. These are all things that I'm working on, and I am telling you, and I will be completely truthful throughout this entire journey that I am being told to share. This is very uncomfortable. This is an extremely uncomfortable position. I am not the most vulnerable person, but I am learning to be more vulnerable, because as I am sharing and as I am giving and as I am allowing people to see the real, what is going on in my life, I am seeing more and more of people who are going through the same things and have the same goals or set goals that they wanted to achieve, and it's not turning out to be what they would have wanted or how they thought it should play out. That's something that I was wishing throughout this entire journey, not just this journey to a million journey, but my self-awareness journey. Seeing someone else who was kind of going through similar circumstances, or they weren't quite getting it, or things were still happening, even though they were leaning into God. And honestly, how to even do that. I started this journey and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't know if I was praying enough. I didn't know if I was spending enough time. I didn't know if I was doing things right. Like, am I supposed to be reading my Bible all the time? Am I supposed to be sitting still? Like, I didn't know what I was doing. It was ups and downs. And I didn't really have anyone to look to say, oh, well, they're on a similar journey as me and they're still going through stuff, so I'm not crazy. These things that are happening to me, it's not happening because I'm doing something wrong, or I'm on the wrong path, or I'm doing something bad. It's happening because it's life. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm sharing this journey. I'm sharing the lessons that I am learning, the hard, uncomfortable things that I am going through, have gone through, am currently going through. I'm going to share it in hopes that it will help someone else in their journey. And maybe it won't be as long as mine. Maybe you won't make the same mistakes as me. But this is what we're here for. We are here to be a light to others. And that's what I know I'm here for. Just sharing and gleaning from each other's knowledge and wisdom and the lessons that we've all learned throughout our journey. If we shared more, if we were more vulnerable, if we were more open, then I feel like it could help a lot of people. And so I'm here. I am doing it. My feet are on the fire, and I am in a very uncomfortable position of where I literally do not know where the next payments are coming from. Like, how are we going to get through next month? I don't know. Are we going to have to dip into savings again? I don't know. But at this point, I'm learning to release that hoarding mentality that I've got to have money. I've got to have this, because that's where my safety lies. That's where my comfort lies. That's where my value lies. That's where my worth lies. If I don't have money, then what am I? And I'm learning to detach myself from that and saying, well, if I don't have money, it doesn't matter. I still am worthy. I still am powerful. I still am abundant. I still am wealthy. I still am rich. I am still knowledgeable. I am still intelligent. I am still everything that God has created me to be, with or without money. That is my journey, to be in this world, but not of it. I am looking to do this every week. But don't quote me. I'm going to share. Like, y'all just bear with me. I'm learning, and I'm growing. And that just hit me. That's how I'm going to end this. That's something that I want you to understand and affirm to yourself when things seem to get a little rough, a little uncomfortable. You aren't sure whether you're doing things right. You aren't sure whether you made a mistake. You feel like you should be further along than where you are right now. When those things start to come up, I want you to shut it down by saying, look, I am learning. I am growing. With every step and every day, I am getting better and better. I am becoming more aware of where I should be going. I am becoming more in tune with God so that I can receive guidance, so that I will be in alignment with Him and in alignment with where I am supposed to go. Everything that I am doing and everything that is occurring is happening for a reason. I am on my right path. I want you to know that. You are on the right path. You are on your journey, and your journey doesn't look like anybody else's. So stop comparing yourself, okay? Let go of that. Your journey is yours, and it is sacred, and it is unique, and it is beautiful. So if you just lean into that, trust it, trust the process, and trust the journey, and trust God that He knows what He's doing. So lean into it. Start letting go of these things that are holding you back. All right? So that is it. That is my update. Here is to my journey to 1 million. I'm excited. Make sure you like, subscribe, and continue to check in. Like, ring that. What do? You hit the bell. Hit the bell so you'll be notified when I post videos, because I want to reach as many people as possible. I want everyone to experience peace. This is what we want. We want peace. We want joy. We want happiness. And I want everyone to experience it. So the more people I can reach, the better. So make sure that if it resonates with you, then share it with somebody else. What I have learned is that if you are struggling with something, or you come across somebody's video or a word or an excerpt from a book that really hits it and hits you, best believe that there's somebody else that needs it too. What do they say? Sharing is caring. So share it. Like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.